Hey, I'm Steve Krenz for Guitar Gathering. Thanks for joining us on this lesson on open chord voicings. You know, there's more than one way to play a chord. So if I'm playing a chord, let me turn off all this stuff here. If I'm just playing a regular old chord, a G, okay, there's lots of different ways to play a G. Well, there's... Turn my reverb off there. All kinds of ways I can play a G. Now, what is a G chord? What is a chord made up of? Well, it's made up of generally three tones in a normal triad. So in a G chord, you would have a G, a B, and a D. So really, any way that I can get a G, a B, and a D together, I'm going to make a chord, a G chord. It's all going to work. So it could be this. All of those are where the notes are within one octave of each other, like a G, B, and a D, just right next to each other. Those are called closed voicings. How I organize these notes within a chord is called its voicing, whether I put the G on the top, or the G on the bottom, or the B on the top, or the D on the top. All of these, if they're right next to each other, whether they're spread out apart. Here's what it sounds like spread out apart. Here's what it sounds like all together. So there's another way. Here's another one. Those are all very spread apart. If it's within one octave, we call those voicings closed voicings. If they're greater than one octave, then those are called open voicings. So in this particular one, I've got a G, I've got a D, and then I skip that extra G and I go right up here to, it would be a tenth above the low G, so it's greater than an octave, so that would be called an open voicing. Now these open voicings are what we're going to talk about in this lesson. You can get some really cool sounds with these open voicings. Let me just see if I can demonstrate here a little bit here for you. Open voicings there for you. Let me make sure my guitar is in tune there. So I don't want to... Life's too short to play out of tune. That's the rule. Friends don't let friends play out of tune. So those are some open voicings there. You'll see how they get kind of a very different kind of sound. I just put some new strings on this, so it's a little wonky on the... Still settling in on the strings. All right, there you go. All right, so let's talk about some of these open voicings. So if I have this G, here, what am I playing? I've got a G, a D, and a B. First finger on the 5th string at the 10th fret, third finger on the 4th string at the 12th fret, and then pinky on the 12th fret here on the 2nd string. And so this is a G chord in an open voicing. If I move each one of these up to the next scale step in the key of G, well, the G would go to an A, the D would go to an E, the B would go to a C, so I end up with this shape. So here's kind of the major shape. Here's the minor shape. B minor, or I could do it down here. So it's kind of like almost a B minor, bar shape, except I'm not barring it. And the only strings I'm plucking are the 5th, the 4th, and the 2nd. If I go to C, right up the scale. Again, just everything moving up to the next scale step. I end up with this shape. Back to our major shape. D in a major shape. E in a minor shape. This F sharp, the one built off the 7th step, I end up with kind of a half diminished shape, which I have the first finger on the F sharp at the 9th fret of the 5th string. Oh, I got my C played with the 3rd finger on the 4th string at the 10th fret. And then I have the A with my pinky on the 2nd string of the 10th fret. Like I said, when I get that PDF done, I'll be able to have these all up here for you. So it's really a pretty sound. Now, that's with a particular string combination on the 5th, the 4th, and the 2nd string. Now, I could take that and just superimpose it. A good way to kind of add to your library of what you can do with a chord is to take the same chord that you like and put it on a different string set. So I'm going to take this shape and these notes that I like here on the 5th, the 4th, and the 2nd string, and I'm going to transpose those to the 4th, the 3rd, and the 1st string. Same shape. How convenient is that? G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, kind of a F sharp half diminished, and then way up here in the stratosphere is this G major. Different ways of doing it. Now, I could, hey, what if I lowered it a string set? Then I end up with a G, a D, and a B. Do you hear how it's the same voicing? It's just different string sets. So I got a different finger combination for these. Here would be the minor. Minor. I'm plucking only the 6th, the 5th, and the 3rd string. Major, major. Minor gets a little bit up here in the stratosphere there. And then, or actually that would be like this. For that G. Open voicing. So you can do a lot of really cool things with open voicings. Now, that's with the root on the bottom. What if I have the, oh, I don't know, let's see here. What if I have the root on the 4th string? So now I have a B, a G, and a D. Now here you end up with some odd shapes. So there's G, there's A minor. This is kind of wide. So I generally wouldn't grab this one, but I do like these major shapes there. We have the first finger on the, this is a C major shape. First finger on the 5th string at the 7th fret. 4th string at the, the 10th fret with my pinky. And then I have the 2nd string with my 2nd finger at the 8th fret. And I'm kind of plucking the first, my thumb, the 1st, and the, I'm using my 3rd finger. Or, you know, my thumb, my index, and my ring. And so you can start mixing these shapes. Zipping into other keys. So there's different, you can see that there's a whole lot of different permutations that you can make of these. So, I mean, I'll try and write out as many as I can. It was just fiddling around this morning and came up with 5 different ways that you can play. Let me see if I've got all of these. Let's say if I'm doing in the key of C, and I wanted to keep the C as the middle tone. I end up with this for the major shape. 2nd finger on the E, first finger on the C, pinky on the G on the first string. The D minor would be this sort of a shape. First finger, second finger, and pinky. If I was in the key of C. And what's fun on these, and you can, there's a whole, bazillion different little ways that you can play this, but what is great is you can start combining these. So let's say I have I'm doing a chord progression maybe in like a C major. So let me kind of get a little C major groove going here. 3, 4. Maybe an F major. Back to C. Okay, so there's my little groove. So I can think C. But I can start mixing these. So let me turn my groove down. So over the C major 7th, I'm going to play E minor, G major, G major, C. Over the F major, I can do F major. Maybe I can do A minor. Remember we talked about the Larry Carlton super arpeggio where over one chord I can superimpose other chords? So like over this C major I could do a E minor, I could even do G major. Okay, so I'm just superimposing some other concepts over it. Over the F major I could do an A minor, I could do a C major, and I get it with different concepts. Some fun that you can have with that. So let me turn that off. Now, so let's go, let me show you another way that you can play these, okay? And then we'll kind of mess around with some tracks and we'll get some Eric Johnson kind of sounds. All right, so another way that I can play these is, we played this version. Well, if I switch it and use the 3rd string, the 2nd string, or the 4th, 3rd, and 1st, I end up with this shape. But again, you end up with some weird, too wide of voicings. So you kind of pick a few, like I like that one, because that goes really good with the C going to the F. If we do, let's see another, another wide one that we were doing. Oh, what if I did this one? There's C major, so now I have C, E, and G, and to D minor it would be E minor, F, G. You can even do kind of wider ones like this. This is a C, second finger on the C, first finger on the G, pinky on the high E way up here. We're really wide stretch. F would be this, G. So how I build those is nothing fancy. I just take a form that I like, and then I walk it up. Guthrie Trapp did a little video at just this week, and he did a little lick in the middle of the video that was something like. Let's see. Just walking down. So you can combine these little concepts, these little types of chords, and you can end up with a lot of beautiful things happening. So I'm going to throw on some distortion here. We're going to put on track, and we're going to go back to the key of G. And the chords in this track are G major to a C major, or excuse me, G major to an E minor, then a C major, A minor, and D. So they're all in the key of G. Let me get my guitar sounding a little rockier. And Andy is asking if there's going to be a PDF. Yes, there is going to be a PDF. I just haven't created it yet, so wait for this lesson to come up, and I'll try and have a PDF with it. So we're going to put on a track, and let me see if I can mess around, see if we can get some Eric Johnson-esque tones. go. Some ideas on open chord voicings there. There's a lot of different varieties and permutations of those, but I wanted to kind of introduce that concept to you. You can get a lot of good creativity out of just kind of opening up your chord voicings. Takes a little bit of practicing, just like you would be for your scales or something like that, just to kind of go through these different things. But at the end of it, you'll have some cool musical tools you can use to get some great sounds on the guitar. So take a listen to that, put that in your own practice time, let that little seed of an idea kind of spark some music in your own life. Hey, I'm Steve Krenz for Guitar Gathering. Thanks for taking the time to listen. We'll see you guys next time.